Hi, my name's Ed. I'm one of the health professionals here at Regency. Today we're going to talk about neck pain. Now, neck pain can come from a number of reasons. It can come from just long work hours sitting at a computer. When you have this posture here, you can see how you've tightened some of the muscles at the top of your neck and lengthened these muscles here. It also can come from sleeping strangely, new bed, new pillows, especially when you're traveling and staying in different hotels. And it can also come from an accident, a car crash or a slip or a fall. It doesn't matter where the neck pain comes from. You're going to start with a really simple exercise, just lying down and moving your neck from left to right. Okay, so you're simply going to lie down on your back, nice and relaxed as much as you can. You can have a small pillow if you need one, but we don't want to be all the way up here because that stretches the back of the neck. Now in this position, you're going to very carefully just move your head to the right and move your head as far as it will go to the left. Now you can do this with breath as well, so you can breathe in and then breathe out and drop your head one way, and then breathe in to the middle and then breathe out, drop your head one way. Now the idea here is to almost move your head like a rolling pin, backwards and forwards, smoothing out any glitches or any pain. So what will happen when you're in pain is your head might be a bit jerky, it might move in sort of jerky movements, and you want to go back and forth over that jerkiness to try and make it as smooth as possible. The body and the brain like to move with fluidity and efficiency, and when you're in pain, that fluidity and efficiency decreases somewhat. And so this exercise smooths out that glitch and helps the body become more coordinated, and it will reduce your pain. Now next we want to think about some stretches for the neck. Is the pain in the front or is it in the back? If it's in the back, it's usually held in these big muscles here. These are called the trapezius muscles, and we're going to show you a way to stretch those. So you're going to take one hand and put it behind your back, just like this. Then you're going to take the other hand, put it on the top of your head and lean your head away. Now, I'm leaning away to, in this case, my right hand side, and just putting a little bit of pressure here, and I'm feeling a stretch in this muscle. All right, so if you feel that stretch, you're going to hold that for about 10 or 15 seconds. And that might be just enough to get rid of that tightness or pain in your neck. But if it's not, you can add to that by putting yourself in the same position, going down to the same stretch, and now putting a little bit of tension here, not much, just a little bit of tension. I'm actually going to use that muscle to bring me back up to the top. But then I'm going to let this hand win, keeping the tension on, and I'm going to drive the neck down again. Bring it back up and back down. So what I'm doing here is I'm exercising this muscle, the trapezius, while stretching it. And this allows more blood to pump into the area and flush out anything that's causing inflammation. It also allows the body and the brain to get a better connection and reduce the pain. So you want to do that movement about 10 or 15 times. So on the other side it would look like this. You take the hand behind your back, drop that shoulder down, put this hand on top of your head and simply lean to one side and then back up. Lean to one side and back up. Okay. If the neck pain is in the front, we need to stretch the neck the other way. What I want you to do is this. Imagine you can move your neck in a circle, all 360 degrees. But we only want to move the neck in a quarter of that circle, like a quarter of a piece of pie, just like this. So I'm going to take, if I want to stretch my left-hand side, or this side of my neck here, I'm going to take my head away from that side. Here, I'm just going to move my head back in that quarter of the circle. And I'll feel all the muscles in the front part of my neck stretching. Now, one of the common mistakes with this is actually lifting up this shoulder, so it looks like this. Now that doesn't mean, that means I don't get any stretching in here. So what you're going to do is hold this hand down as far as you can, and sometimes people even hold onto a chair or bottom of a table or a countertop or something like that to really make sure this arm is down, and then they lean back. And that can make a really effective stretch into your front of the neck. Now if it's the other side, you just do the opposite. So I would hold this hand down, and I would just lean this hand back. Okay, so if you stretch the back and the front and your neck still hurts, we're going to do something quite clever. Now the reason it's clever is this, is the brain associates movement in the neck with when the eyes move. So if I move my head to the right, I will move my eyes first and then I'll look to the right. Now that tells the brain what's coming. It says, I know what's coming here because my eyes are beginning to move first, and so it will anticipate pain in the neck. But watch this, if I turn my head to the right and I look over my right shoulder, you can see that my head is turned right. But if I keep my head completely still, looking at you, and I turn my shoulders, now I'm in exactly the same position. You see that? But the movement is different because it comes from the bottom up and not the top down. And so my brain doesn't associate that as a painful movement. So this is what I like you to do. I like to look completely straight ahead and hold your head very, very still and simply move your shoulders left and right. Now this is allowing the spine to move, it's allowing the neck to move, and it's going to pump out inflammation. It's going to get blood flow into that area and start any healing that needs to happen. It's a very gentle exercise. Now, you may get pain. If your neck is really sore, you woke up and you can hardly move it, this may be a little bit painful, but that's okay. You just go the other way. It doesn't really matter as long as there's movement into the neck. So you're going to do that for about a minute. Simply just moving the arms left and right. But there's more to it. I'm going to step back a little bit so you can see a bit more of me here. The neck not only moves left and right, it also moves leaning left and right as well, in like a side bending. So I want you to try and recreate that. And the way we're going to do that is by taking one hand up and one hand down. And you see there's a wave that goes through my spine and comes up to my neck here. Now I'm going to do one side at a time. So this is the same movement, I'm feeling a stretch here, as me doing this. You see my shoulders and head are in the same position as if I just do this or this. So I'm stretching this side of my neck, my left side of my neck. And then I would do the same thing the other side. Super simple exercise, just taking one hand down and one hand up. Again, 10 or 15 of these, or until you feel some change in your neck. So there's a third movement the neck does. That's simply nodding backwards and forwards. So we want to get that movement happening whilst keeping the head still. It's almost like I have a book on the top of my head and I'm trying to keep it that still. So what I'm going to do is this, I'm going to step forward and keep looking forward at a point on the wall in front of me. But my hands are going back behind me, and you can see I'm creating that extension in my neck and stretching the front of my neck, but my body doesn't really know that's happening. So I'm stretching forward and back, and I'm just simply lunging, just taking one leg forwards and backwards. So just like this, you can see from the side here. It's a very simple exercise, but it ends up integrating your neck to the rest of your body. But now we've got to do the same thing going the other way. So how do we get the neck to sort of chin tuck forward? We do that by doing another lunge, but this time I'm going to be looking down at the ground, and I'm going to take my hands over my head. And you'll see that if I'm looking down here and my hands come up over my head, my back of the neck has stretched. And so it's simply going to be like this, a lunge, then come back, a lunge, and come back. And the further I take my hands, the more the pelvis and lower back move, and the bigger the stretch I get in my neck. Okay, so there you have it. Some great exercises for neck pain. They involve the whole body, they involve movement, and they involve relaxing the neck, pumping out inflammation, and getting all the good blood and circulation into there. So go on, give those a go.